What's good, y'all? It's that boy, Easy Millions, and I'm your host of That Boy ETV. You already know, man. And today I actually got something a little special, man. Due to Mortal Kombat 1 coming out, man, I decided to re-watch the Mortal Kombat movie, the newest one that's currently on HBO Max. I watched it when it first came out back, I believe, in 2021, and this is only the second time I've seen it since the initial watch. So I thought I'd talk about it, just kind of give my thoughts on it throughout the movie. And so I'm kind of like going to go somewhat over the plot here, but basically just give my overall thoughts on the movie, man. So here we go. We're going to start this. So the intro scene to this, which is actually the Hanzo, Hisashi, and Bi-Han introduction scene. So it opens up with Hanzo and his family in the woods, and we see Sub-Zero come and essentially kill his family, and we see him kill Hanzo. So with this scene here, with the opening of this movie, man, the actors for both Hanzo and Bi-Han, in my opinion, are perfect. You couldn't have made it any better. Love both these guys. I'm like just watching it. It looks really good. This movie started off extremely well. The only caveat or the only negative to this opening scene is Sub-Zero doesn't actually kill Hanzo with the classic spine rip fatality. I think they should have actually had Sub-Zero, rip out his head off with the spine like how they do in the game. I think that would have been great. After the fight, we kind of transition into Raiden coming down after the fight. So Raiden's not able to actually intervene with everything on Earth Realm, so he can only watch. This is why he doesn't save Scorpion. But he does end up saving Scorpion's youngest son, and we see him save the son and take him away. Right after this, we then get this lore card that basically explains the overall arching, I guess, feeling or narrative of this world, how this world is going, and we learn about the Mortal Kombat tournament. So after this, we get now introduced to Cole Young, who's actually the child that we see Raiden save. And Cole Young, at this point, when we meet him, he's just a fighter, and we see him fighting for $200 in matches. And I guess he's not the greatest fighter. He's just kind of winning and losing here and there. But this is also where we see Jax for the first time. Cole Young is for the introduction to him. I mean, hey, it's cool. I guess he's supposed to be like our fish out of water character, a way for the audience that doesn't know Mortal Kombat to kind of be introduced. Have a character to help them be introduced to the world, even though I'm pretty sure that Johnny Cage was supposed to actually fulfill that role, but that's neither here nor there. So after we get the introduction to Cole Young, we then go and we see Outworld for the first time. And when we go out here, we get to see Shang Tsung for the first time, and he's met up with Bi-Han, who's now fully transitioned to Sub-Zero, and we get to see Sub-Zero's outfit in this. It's pretty good. It's dark. It's not really blue. It's really dark. Looks kind of like, the reference of what he is to become in the future. And this is where Shang Tsung and Sub-Zero basically just talk to each other about how they're going to be dirty and cheat and try to kill everyone, before the tournament. So after this, we then go back to where Cole Young and Jax are meeting. So this is the scene where we get to meet Jax for the first time. The Jax actor, so far I'm just going to say pretty much all the actors in this are pretty good in my opinion. There's only a couple of them. Well, not really. There's only like a couple of them I have gripes with. I'll name them when I get to them. But Jax, I think is a good match. And this is where Jax basically goes over the tattoos that is in this world. So in this world, the champions of Earthrealm have basically the Mortal Kombat logo as a tattoo. And this is where Jax tells Cole for the first time, hey, you're chosen. That's what the tattoo is about, right? So the whole tattoo thing where this is chosen, I mean, that's fine. It means basically just like how in the first movies, he just goes and picks up the people and like, hey, you're the champion. You know what I mean? So not really, I don't really have any gripes with the whole tattoo being the symbol. I think that's cool, especially with nowadays tattoos being as popular as they are. So after Jax and Cole have their talk, Cole then decides to leave and meet up with his family to go get something to eat. And this is where we first get to see our first Sub-Zero scene in action. He's not fighting anybody, but he does do this cool thing where he picks up all the water from, I'm pretty sure it was raining, and he turns it, either it's raining and he turns it into snow, or he turns the moisture in the air into ice, and he picks it up off the ground and slams it on the ground. It looks dope as hell, and again, when you look at his suit, I'm pretty sure this is foreshadowing, just telling you that he's supposed to be turning into Noob Saibot, most likely in the sequel, so it's just foreshadowing, but I wish they put a little bit more blue in there just so he looked like more like Sub-Zero, but it's all good. So when he gets attacked, Jax pulls up and saves Cole, and after this, they then go to a warehouse where Jax has called Sonya on the phone during the driveway to this warehouse, but once they're trying to get rid of Sub-Zero, so Jax tells Cole to take the car, go meet up with Sonya, and he's going to stay and fight Sub-Zero. Now, in this fight, the fight between Sub-Zero and Jax, it's pretty good. I mean, it's probably the second best fight in the movie, I would say, overall. And this is where we get Jax's new origin story for his arms. And since we've seen Goro being the one to rip off his arms for so long, it does actually look cool as hell to see Sub-Zero freeze this man's arms and just rip them off. And then this man's face, he's just in complete shock. It's crazy, man. Great scene. And I do like the change to Jax's origin in this for his arms. I like the change for him. Sorry about that. I had to sip on that muddy water, man. Now, after this, we then transition back out to our world. And this is where we're introduced to Melina for the first time. And Melina, I think, is one of the few characters in the movie that's kind of weird to have, because Melina's directly tied to Katana, and Katana is only referenced in the movie through an Easter egg where in the background you see her fans like on a stand, and I believe it was Raiden's temple. And it's just like, how are you going to have Melina and you don't have Katana? Now, I do understand it's because Melina is more popular than Katana, so you just wanted to have the most popular characters in the movie, but still, I think it's kind of weird. Then we also see that Shang Tsung gets updated Melina, and he is told her to not worry about Raiden. He tells her not to worry about Raiden gathering the champions, and then he tells Reptile, hey man, go out there, do what we do, be dirty, and go kill the champions. So he actually gets sent off to kill some champions, and the people who actually get sent to fight is going to actually end up being Sonya Blade in the next scene. So after this is when Cole finally gets to the building. I think it's her house. I'm guessing this is her house or where she lives, but he finally meets up with Sonya. And when he meets up with Sonya, this is where we get the overall lore for the universe, where she has this whole board just full of all different Easter eggs, and basically just explaining all the 9 tournaments and how the markings are the sign of a champion. We also learned that if you are a champion and a normal person happens to kill you in combat, that marking will then transfer from them to you. We also learned through this that there's realms and different realms in all the tournaments. I believe I did already mention the tournaments. We also meet Kano. I think Kano is one of the best characters in the movie, man. The actor is funny. And there's a lot of his scenes throughout the whole movie is just great. But we learned that Kano's backstory is Kano becomes a champion because he happens to kill a champion who I believe is Sonya's partner in this. I might be wrong on that. But we also learned that Sonya does not have one. And Kano throughout the movie is just on her about this the entire time, how she doesn't have the marking. There's multiple scenes where we see her get denied training and it's things of that nature, right? So we make sure that is definitely ragged on. And Kano does a great job of doing this. So after all of that, this is when Reptile finally attacks. And actually the Reptile fight is probably the third one. Maybe you can switch it out for the, what was the other, I don't think it's better than the Sub-Zero Jax. So this is probably the third best fight in the movie here, where Reptile attacks Sonya, Cole, and Kano. And in this one, the design for Reptile, he's an actual reptile in this. He doesn't look like how he does in Mortal Kombat 1, but maybe this is where Mortal Kombat 1 kind of got their inspiration from, or why they make him look like this. But I give, this is a good fight. It does end with Kano fatality of him shooting the eye. Oh, through him, not shooting eye lasers, but him punching a hole through his chest and ripping out his heart, man, and going Kano wins. And I mean, it's just dope, man. It's really dope. Then after this, we then transfer over. Cole, Sonya, and Kano then leave and then head over to Redden's Temple, where we then meet Liu Kang. We meet Kung Lao, and we notice that Jax is there, and we meet Raiden for the first time too. So we meet Raiden, Kung Lao, Liu Kang. We see Jax at the temple, and his arms are gone at this point. But this is also, so after we have the initial introductions, everyone meets up and we see Jax. Shang Tsung then arrives with Sub-Zero and Melina and everyone, and they begin to fight with Liu Kang and Kung Lao. This is where Raiden puts up a barrier so that Shang Tsung can stop doing all this dirty shit and just wait for the tournament, right? So he puts up a barrier. When the barrier goes up, I guess it's just kind of like a little, a way to just keep them apart. But I feel like there should be rules for this. But hey, whatever, it is what it is. So after the barrier goes up, we then go over to the training of all Earthrealm champions. This is where we learn that everyone's power is like Liu Kang's fire. I'm guessing it's Kung Lao's ability to control his hat. Those are the only two that we know right when they talk about Okana. So the Okana is the power that basically all the special moves that we see in the game comes from their Okana. And their Okana, from what Liu Kang tells us, comes from within, and it must be unlocked via training. And it comes from things that drive you. You know what I mean? So it has to be something that drives you. It's something that comes from within yourself, and you have to unlock it through training. Now, Sonya not having a marking, I'm not understanding why they did this in the movie, but I guess it has to do with how the end goes, but I feel like the end can be changed. I'll get to that point when we get there. Now, another issue about these scenes here is Jax, because initially before Jax unlocks his Okana, we see that these monks that are here in this temple, and I mean, this temple just looks like it's built into the side of into a mountain. It doesn't have the most technological advanced stuff around, but somehow they're able to graft metal arms to him that I don't know. It's just kind of weird, right? So it's just weird. So now we go over to a little bit of the training, and Cole ends up fighting Kung Lao at first, and we see here that this is kind of like testing how good they are. And when Cole gets the first good hunt on Kung Lao, it seems like Kung Lao turns up and almost at least tries to attempt to kill him with his hat, man. It's kind of crazy. After this, we then get Liu Kang training with Kano, and we get a Easter egg reference of people just doing a low sweep and they just keep getting knocked down, and how people that play the game for the first time, this usually works. And we also get, throughout this time, Liu Kang also explains his backstory. So through this backstory, we learn that Bo Right Cho is in this world, and he was Liu Kang's master. He was found as an orphan, taken to the Wuxi Academy, and his Okana ends up getting unlocked due to him getting to a fight with another and killing him, taking the Okana, and that's the day that his was unlocked. So now going back through my notes here, I wonder if you steal the marking, is your Okana automatically unlocked? Opposed to someone like Cole, who's born with it, he has to train and unlock his. And we're going to get, and this is going to come up again later on near the end. And I'll speak more on this when we get there. And also, too, before Jax unlocks his Okana, his arms just look weird as hell. Like, look at them. They're just skinny as I don't know what. It's just, they don't look good in my opinion. So after the initial training sequences, we get this dinner scene. And this dinner scene here is basically just to bring out Kano's Okana, which is his eye laser. It's actually funny because he actually unlocks it because Liu Kang and Kung Lao are roasting him at the table, and he gets in his feelings. So basically getting him in his feelings is what unlocks his Okana. So then we also learn that Cole Young also learns from Raiden that Scorpion is his father, and he's part of the bloodline, but Cole has doubts about not being able to unlock his Okana. So Raiden sends him back to his family like, look, man, if you're not going to be unlocking your Okana, you're just kind of useless, man. But hold on, let me take a sip of this money water, man. Ooh, that money water, man. All right, so he gets sent back to the family, right? So after he gets sent back to the family, we transition again back to Outworld. And at this time, we get to meet the rest of their champions. We get to meet Reiko, Kabal, Natara, and Goro. And real fast, Reiko is completely wasted in this. He's a mindless brute that does nothing but yell. I don't even think this man has a damn line besides rah. So yeah, Kabal, he's cool. The design is straight off the video games, straight out of MK11, I believe that is. Straight out of MK11, he looks good. Natara, I'm going to get to her in a second. We'll get to her in a second. Goro, I mean, he's computer generated, but he looks all right. At this point, we also learned through Kabal that Kano is now the reason why he's in his iron lung, not from the original timeline where he's burnt from Kintaro, I believe. But Kabal informed Shang Tsung of Kano and how he's a dirty motherfucker. So he says, hey, let me go meet with him. So Kabal go meets with Kano and convinces Kano to betray the others. And he lets down the barrier that allows all the fighters to come in. And we get our initial fight. So the fights are in two parts, right? We have the initial fight where they invade the temple. And then you have the secondary fight after everyone has their Okanas unlocked. And they fight on their own terms. So we're going to talk about the invading part here. So in the invading part, we have Goro going against Cole. And the first part, and we're just going to talk about the entire fights, both parts here. So the Goro and Cole fight, it's like one of those fights that you're watching it, and you're like, come on, Goro. There's one point where Goro has him, and he's like, I'm going to rip out your spine. And he gives Cole's wife enough time to go grab an axe, pull it out of the wood, run back over to him and stab him with it in the side instead of just instantly, ripping this man to shreds. So, of course, he can't die though. But during this fight, Cole Young finally gets his Okana, and we find out why Goro's not able to kill him, because his Okana is literal plot armor. And I'm not lying. His Okana is a armor that he it's plot armor, okay? And through this, he can also create like nightstick things that have blades on the end of them. So, hey, it's cool, man. Ultimately, I believe that this fight made Goro look extremely weak because he should have killed Cole extremely fast. And then once Cole pretty much unlocks his Okana, Goro gets clapped. So, it's also, too, I'm trying to figure out why this isn't given to Liu Kang. But we understand that Cole Young is now replacing Liu in the lore, so I don't agree with this, but hey, let me know how y'all feel about that. Do y'all think Cole Young should be a part of the movie or what, man? I don't really think he added anything to it. So we have Liu Kang and Kabal. The Liu Kang and Kabal fight is all right. Both during the invasion and after it, their fight is pretty much the same the entire time. It's pretty good, none too serious. We get to see Liu Kang's bicycle kick. We get to see Kabal use his speed, so it's cool. And Kabal ends up dying to Liu Kang with the dragon fatality, where he summons the dragon of fire and it comes down and eats them. Then we have Reiko versus Jax. Now, when the first fight happens during the invasion, this fight is extremely brief. Like, you don't really see it too much. So most of the fight happens after Jax's Okana is unlocked. And Jax unlocks his Okana while trying to save Sonya, who is trapped under some rocks. I should actually talk about her fight first, but hey, it is what it is. But she's trapped under some rocks, and his Okana is unlocked, which transforms his little skinny robot arms into the arms that we're used to, or arms that actually like he should be able to fight with. So post Okana unlock, Jax pretty much demolishes Reiko. It's not even like he has any type of trouble. And again, Reiko gets no love in this, man. None at all. Just a mindless brute who runs out there and get his head smashed, man. So this fight is pretty trash. I think the Reiko versus Jax fight is trash. Liu Kang versus Cabal was all right because you got to see some things. And then Goro versus Cole, in my opinion, is not very good. But hey, it is what it is. So let's move over to Sonya versus Melina. And this is where Melina and Sonya are fighting during the invasion. During the invasion, we have it to where Melina has Sonya pretty much dead to rights. But when she tastes her blood, she realizes Sonya is not a champion. So she just pieces out like, yo, you're not even worth my time, homie. Like, that's just kind of dirty. Like, they was doing Sonya dirty throughout this movie about not making her a champion. It just doesn't make any sense, man. We'll get back to Melina because her main part of her fighting is after the invasion. So let's talk about the Kung Lao versus Natara fight real fast. And this fight is basically a one-touch flawless victory combo with a fatality at the end. And not gonna lie, it looks cool as shit. Looks just like how the fatalities look in the game. But this is also where Kung Lao takes the biggest L because he gets his soul taken by Shang Tsung. And it does look cool, so it's a cool looking scene. But he gets the W because he gets the coolest fatality in the movie, but he also takes the biggest L, my G. Like, come on, man. They do not give Kung Lao no love, dog. Sometimes they always killing him off. It's like he's the Kenny of Mortal Kombat. You know what I'm saying? So let's go back to Melina here. So Melina, after everyone lost the Okana, she ends up fighting with Cole primarily, and Cole knocks her away. But this is where we see Melina for the first time, and we see her jaw in all its glory. It looks cool, great design. Not mad at it at all. Not mad at all. But after, not mad at it at all. At the same time, we also see Sonya versus Kano. I got to talk about this one first. I hate to skip like this, but I got to talk about this one first because during this fight, Sonya ends up killing Kano and gains the marking and becomes a champion, right? And then after she kills Kano, she then joins into the Cole versus Melina fight, and she basically kills Melina instantly with her classic wrist blast, the purple ones. But here's the thing that kind of goes against the lore of the movie, because we learned that from Liu Kang that you have to train in order to unlock your Okana, right? So I guess with Kano, he stole it and still had to train. With Cole, he's born with it, still had to train. Sonya gains it from Kano, instantly has her Okana unlocked to help him kill off Melina. Like, that kind of sucks, but I guess that's nitpicking, man. But let's try to get to this because we only got one more big scene to talk about, and this is the Sub-Zero Cole Young Scorpion fight, and primarily Sub-Zero Scorpion fight. And just the entrance alone of Sub-Zero in this is by far the best fight, but just the entrance alone is a noob Cybot Easter egg. Pretty sure he's going to be that in the next one. During this fight, we get to see things like the Ice Clone, Sub-Zero's throw. We get the classic Get Over Here by Scorpion. We get the classic Scorpion fatality. We get an even more noob Cybot reference, or what he's even an Easter egg, what he should look like in the next one, because when during the fight, he breaks off his armor and he looks just like Noob. And it just looks great, man. This fight between Sub-Zero and Scorpion, mwah, beautiful. We wanted to see it in live action. Looks great. Now, the only gripe about this scene is during it, we see Cole Young, before he joins in with Scorpion to kill off Sub-Zero, and I like the fact they made Sub-Zero so strong. At least they made him look real strong. But before he joins in that fight, we see him attempting to save his family, who earlier we're seeing Sub-Zero has frozen completely to the wall. Somehow they survived this. I don't know how, because they should be dead, but hey, it is what it is. Let's not nitpick too much on that. Then after this fight, we get one last scene between Raiden and Shang Tsung, where Raiden comes and says that basically, hey, you can kill off all my people. Because another thing that's kind of a gripe is Melina, Cabal, Reiko, and Goro are all now dead. Okay? Think about that. Melina's dead. Reiko being dead is probably not that big of a deal. Cabal being dead, probably not that big of a deal but I'm pretty sure you could have used him for multiple movies because how popular he is. He's a popular character, so I don't see why he would just kill him off. But Melina, Goro, I don't see why you kill him off in the first movie. And Cabal could have been another one that survived at least to the sequel. But I don't know. Maybe they felt that was a better way to go. And then after their talk, Raiden lets them know, hey, we need to go ahead and grab the rest of the new champions. And at the end of the movie, we see Cole leaving his job at the fighting gym, and he says he's heading to Hollywood, where we then get our final reference to Johnny Cage, man. So, how do I feel about the movie overall? I feel like during the movie, I mean, it's a pretty good movie. I still think the 95 version, I believe it's 1995 version, is a little bit better because it follows the lore better. But I do like the actors in this. The actors in this are great. I do feel the overall arching story is fine. The Okana, I think they need to kind of figure out how that works or explain that a little better. Do you have to train? Is it automatically unlocked if you steal from somebody? Or if you're born with it, can you have it automatically or do you have to train? Like, I think they should probably clean that up a little bit. They didn't have an actual tournament at all. So that's kind of weird. So I don't know if in the second one, are they going to invade? Like, was that considered a tournament? We never actually see them say the tournament starts, but we'll find out in the second one. Other than those, I think the movie is all right. It's like a 3 out of 5 for me. I think it's something that you can go watch if you're a fan of Mortal Kombat. I think true fans of Mortal Kombat will probably have some gripes with, like I said, the fact that Cole Young is the main character when he's useless, especially if you could have just swapped him out with Johnny Cage. And then lore things like Melina being there without Katana, Goro being killed the way he was. I think those kind of things will bother real Mortal Kombat fans, not really just people who watch the movie. But down in these comments, let me know what y'all think, man. Hey, you gonna say, E, you're tripping. E, this is the greatest movie alive. E, this movie is pure booty cheeks. I mean, just let me know how you feel, man, down below. But, hey, I appreciate y'all tuning in. And as always, please like, comment, subscribe, follow, share, become a supporter, and catch me streaming on Facebook Gaming and Twitch at that boy ETV. And this has been my review on movies, dog. And on the Mortal Kombat joint, and say, it wasn't that bad. Let me know what y'all think about it, man. I'm out. Peace.